What are the ethics of our time? What are the boundaries of acceptable behavior? And not just in business or in politics, but personally, what is? And this film was willing to engage that in, I thought, a really smart, dramatic way.
I know you're not going to get a more authentic film about Wall Street than this film. I mean, these are based on many real events, real characters, and the real places that they go to with the person who grew up in this world and knows this world the most.
This is Nick's first feature, and he did such a brilliant job writing the script.
It's undeniable. It's a really good script and works on many different levels. Works as a movie. It's very smart.
I started writing. It took about 9 months to write, and I was doing a lot of research. The hedge fund magnates were dominating the paper. My parents were traders, so I know a lot about this world. They're in the commodity business, and I had access to a lot of these minds. So I would get, my lawyer and, family friend on the phone and get advice about the plot and how could this man get away with this crime.
He knows his world very well. He knows the textures of it. He knows the textures of the money in this world, lifestyle of this world. But he's also kind of a street guy in the sense that he's got an enormous amount of energy and an emotional richness that he's written very, very unique characters here. Each one of these characters is almost full-blown.
The actors use their craft and find these characters. It's a beautiful synthesis of everybody's instinct.
You want to tell me what this is?
Better you don't ask.
You called me up for a ride, I showed up, I gave you a ride.
No, you didn't. We're not here.
Richard Gere plays Robert Miller, who's a very wealthy man who lives in a beautiful mansion in Gramercy Park.
I read the script, and it was a really terrific script. Resonated with a lot of contemporary themes. So I was engaged in just the story level. Thematically, great character, wonderful character I hadn't played before. So I think that was the entrance.
It's about a guy who's hanging on to his last shred of humanity, and it's really easy to vilify that guy, but this kind of gives you an account of the human side of that person.
He didn't play a likable character. He didn't try to engender your sympathy. He just portrayed this man as honestly as he knew how to do it. A man in desperate circumstance, once a good man, he's fallen down. And he did it with beauty and honesty. And once I saw it all put together, I think that everyone was blown away by Richard's performance.
We've been having a single argument for 20 years. I can't handle one drunk motorist kills herself.
Tim Roth was a godsend for the film because Robert Miller is such a powerful character that if you're going to have someone taking him down, he's got to really be a threat. So Tim coming in to play Detective Breyer, who's tracking down Robert Miller, and he's seen the rich go free and get away with their crimes. He's a good cop, he's good at what he does, but he's pissed off, And so I think he has a wry cynicism about everything.
I don't think you understand the gravity of the situation here, Jimmy. This is a homicide.
Tim Roth is such a talent, and he's been around for a long time. Has an amazing body of work himself.
We had a scene yesterday, and we had quite a bit of sparring to do back and forth, and it was fun.
Where'd you go?
Home.
You go straight home?
Yeah.
You stayed home?
Yeah.
Your wife home?
Yes.
It's a very, I think, a subtle scene of interrogation.
You are a little confused by all this, aren't you?
I am, but I get there. Give me time.
And the tension between those 2 points of view, I think, make for the audience a fun kind of scene to watch.
I'm a big fan of Heat. I'm not claiming this is Heat, but I thought it was really nice to have that one explosive scene where they confront each other, and then the rest of the movie, they're moving from different places to counteract each other, and who's going to win.
One of the things I really like about Arbitrage is the casting of the women around Richard Gere. It's interesting to have Susan Sarandon play his wife.
Susan Sarandon, one of my favorite actors since I was a child. She really took a chance on me, and she read the script, and right away I think she saw the interesting character there.
I met with Nick, and I really liked him, and he was very passionate about the project, which I think is really, really important. And I'm old friends with Richard. We've probably known each other as long as that married couple has known each other, so that helped.
I think this is the second time we've played husband and wife.
Everything I do is for us, for this family. Now you're telling me how to run my business?
This isn't about your business, this is our life.
She's wonderful.
It's right away when we just fell into it very easily. She had a natural, like, maternal energy with me.
You have to do what's right for you, not him, not me, not anyone. This is your life.
Britt Marling is a really talented actress and up and coming herself. And she had a Wall Street background before she got into the film industry.
Britt had been to Georgetown as an economics major and in fact had worked as an investment analyst at Goldman Sachs. Britt really brought something very special to the role because she had experienced a lot of the character in her own personal life. And she had the hustler spirit, you know, which the character Brooke would have from her father.
You're fired, Ben.
You can't fire me.
Oh, I just did.
Who do you think asked me to make those changes?
You tell me. The moment I talked with Nick on Skype, I was just like, I love the way he sees the story. I love his passion and enthusiasm for making it. If I lie for you.
You didn't know about it. That's why I didn't tell you.
I'm the chief investment officer of this company. What do you think they're going to say at the deposition? She didn't know. They'll take away my brokerage license. Failure to supervise you.
I was pretty much on board from that point. I was really excited.
All you said was you needed a ride. You didn't tell me you killed that girl.
Jimmy, I didn't.
I'm trying to put my life back together.
I knew that with this film, Robert Miller is the hero, but there's really a co-star. In many ways, it's Jimmy.
Nate Parker's one of the best young actors around in Hollywood right now, and we were just really lucky that he wanted to play Jimmy.
What excited me the most about this project was the script. I think Nick wrote an incredible script. You know, as a young African-American man, out of 50 scripts, maybe 2 are actually representing us in a way that's positive. And so reading this, I was like, this is great. This is fantastic. There's range, there's a depth, there are layers happening. I really felt connected to him.
You serious? You think money's gonna fix this?
What else is there?
Britt Marling said that Nate Parker radiates integrity. And I think it's just so true. What Nate brings is that rawness. He's a man, he's very handsome, he's dashing. You know that you can rely on Nate.
He's an original. His instincts, I think, are really terrific.
Earl said they offered me a deal. No charges at all. I walk away. You just want to know who I went to pick up.
We were super lucky on this film because we did 3 weeks of rehearsal, which is, you know, pretty uncommon in films of this size in general. But what I wanted was really to get the opportunity to get to know all the cast. Richard would come over to my loft, he'd make tea, we'd sit and we'd talk through the script, and we brought in everybody, you know, one at a time. We'd work in the different scenes.
I think that rehearsal process for him and the actors gave them such a great connection and foundation from which to go be prepared on set.
Okay. All right, it's good. Let's shoot it. Okay. Rehearsal could be anything. Rehearsal could be listening to a song, feeling an object, getting to know the characters in the world. So one of the things we did, Richard and Britt Marling and we went down to the New York Stock Exchange. So we're in the New York Stock Exchange. We were meeting people, being interested people, and we go out on the floor, and there's all these floor traders there and computer monitors. There's Britt, Richard, and I walking through, and all the pit guys, they see Richard, and right away we're walking through, and they're like, oh my God, Richard Gere in the New York. Hey, it's Richard Gere, officer and a gentleman. He's a real gentleman. Hey, Richard, how you doing? The great thing was with Richard and Britt on that day, Richard would ask these hedge fund guys and these traders questions, but what he wanted to know was about their personal life. He wanted to know, how do you talk to your kids? How do you talk to your wife? You know, it wasn't about options and derivatives and currency trading. It was, we did that research separately, but it was about making those human connections.
Often on independent films, you just don't have that opportunity because of people's schedules, and directors, first-time directors don't get to sit with Richard Gere for a month rehearsing and rewriting and really sorting out the nuances. And it just brought a whole other layer to this great policier thriller.
Nick is incredible. He's the deep enthusiasm for making movies. He loves the process, like rehearsals, being on set, everything. He always talks with actors in terms of story, which Nick will always come over and say, okay, what are you feeling? Like, what were you thinking in that last take? What was going through your body? Tell me what that is, and then, okay, you know, try that, but try this twist on it. You know, I think at this moment in the story, this is what you're feeling. It's so much easier to do your job then as an actor because you're not thinking, you're feeling.
He sees the movie in his head, and you can see him watching the movie sometimes in his head. When we get stuck, he'll be like, hold on. And it's like he's in the theater with the popcorn watching the movie. He's like, aha, this is what we would do. He lets you play. He doesn't try to control a scene, ever. You know, if you ask for a take, he always gives you an extra take. You know, we can be light going down, you know, roll out, we have to ride 3 streets around the block to start again. He will never, ever take away that gift of you being happy and satisfied with your performance every time.
I thought Nick did a great job, especially since he hadn't directed before, but he was completely prepared. I'll always give somebody a shot that has a vision and enthusiasm for that vision, and he definitely had that.
I think this is probably the first of a long career for him, so, I mean, hopefully. I think he's doing a really good job with this.
The locations are a pretty pivotal additional character in the film. You can't really shoot a movie on finance that's not based in New York City.
It's where he would be as a master of the universe, so to speak.
We shot in the real locations, the real places that very wealthy people in New York go.
Nick couldn't make this film if he couldn't make it in the world that this character lived in.
We took as much advantage of the city as we can because it provides a great backdrop for everything that's going on. It's beautiful. And I love that Christian Liagra aesthetic, you know, the hard, sharp lines of business. We wanted that grand feeling because we wanted to show the scale, the scope of what Robert Miller's world was. So when we could see when it could all come crashing down.
Keep that money in there until they sign.
You're looking at 1,000 years jail time.
What am I supposed to do?
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark.
Getting this film made, this dream almost went up in smoke like many times. We got it done very fast. Comparatively, I think from the time I wrote the script to the time the movie's coming out is like 2 years. And I remember from the time I finished the script to the day we started shooting was 1 year to the day, which is remarkably fast. And I think everybody was psyched to be there, felt they were making a real contribution. We had a shot at doing something good. I mean, we didn't know, you never know, is it coming out great or not? How are people gonna react? You know, we just wanted to do good work and be authentic to these characters and to this story that we were telling. We had a great time making it, and I think it shows in the work. So I hope people enjoy it.